What's up, fragrant world? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production, and today we're diving into the world of oils once again. Today we're talking about the house of Zoha Aroma, who I've spoken about before. We've done a video on their fragrances, I want to say over a year ago at this point, and they were gracious enough to send me a lot of their newest releases. They have since expanded to now sprays. They have spray fragrances now instead of just oils, but their oil library is still expanding very quickly. So I'm excited to share with you quite a few fragrances. We're going to try to do this as quickly as we can. Now, a couple things about oils that you may not know, and some of them might be a little counterintuitive to you. First of all, for optimal performance, you're supposed to roll on about a quarter-sized spot of oil onto your pulse points. Okay, simple enough. And then they actually suggest you apply a gentle rub to each application. You might think, well, we're not supposed to rub our fragrances in, and that's true. But for oils, because they're thicker, they actually can withstand a little bit of friction as long as it's gentle, and it actually helps to activate the scent a little bit. So something to keep in mind. I got some notes here I want to talk about with the brand, just some things that you should know about. In terms of Zoha, they're based in Toronto, Canada. Same with Oil Perfumery, who I talked about recently, also based in Toronto, Canada. So that seems to be the hub of fragrance oils these days. They do ship worldwide, which is awesome, so keep that in mind. The prices that they list on their website are in Canadian dollars, not US dollars, so you would need to convert that. The perfume oils range from $5 to about $17 Canadian. I'll have the US dollar equivalent here. And I think they have a few different sizes for oils: 3 milliliters, 6 milliliters, and 12 milliliters. They have their eau de parfum fragrances, the sprays, as I mentioned, those come in two sizes. There's a 15 milliliter size for $20 Canadian. You also have a 50 milliliter size for $45 Canadian. Once again, I'll have the conversions on screen in US dollars so you can see that too. And just for you guys, we got a 20% off coupon. That's going to be Copeland 20. So you can use that coupon code at checkout to get 20% off of your order, which is awesome. It's awesome. That means you're going to come out with a whole lot because these are already very inexpensive. Just so you know, the coupon code will only be active for 2 weeks from the day you're seeing this video. So keep that in mind. If you want to use it, hop on it, get your oils, get what you need to get, and enjoy. So let's jump right in. We got quite a few to get through. First off, we're gonna go through their new eau de parfum fragrances. And all of these, there's 5 of them, all of them but one are clones. So let's jump into them. First one up, see if you can guess what this is based on. This is called Napoleon. You probably already know what this is inspired by. And this is the 15 milliliter size. It's a nice travel spray, very simple bottle, nothing special, a decent label on it. And they actually do list the notes here on the other side in case you wanted to know. If you take a look at this note breakdown, you'll probably notice some familiarity there. So if you didn't already know, this is based on Creed Aventus. And really quick, does it smell like Aventus? It does. It really does actually smell like Aventus. It smells like a fruity batch of Aventus. However, what I'm gonna say about this one, and actually you'll probably notice with most of these, is that you spray it on, at least for me, I didn't get any kind of development. In terms of the development that I would get out of Aventus, you know, you spray it on, you get that bright bergamot, you know, citrus with the pineapple, with a little bit of woods in the background. It's very almost kind of green and chypre-like. And then as it starts to dry, the citruses fade away. It gets sweeter with the vanilla. There's some florals in there. You know, there's a really distinct development depending on which batch you have of Aventus. Now with this one, I find that you spray it on, and to me, it comes off as it's like in the heart of the dry down, and it stays there. It sprays on as like middle of the dry down, and that's what I get for the life of the scent. So it smells pleasant, but you know, from someone who wears Aventus on a regular basis, that's kind of what I'm looking for, is that development, that journey. And I wasn't really getting that out of Napoleon. So I'm not really crazy about Napoleon. I can say it smells like Aventus, and that's what it sets out to do, but it's not really as interesting of a wearing experience for me. However, the price is fantastic. So if you want something that smells like Aventus for a very small price, this is one to check out. Up next, this one is called Token. And this is actually a clone of an Initio Parfums fragrance, and it's called Side Effect. And that's one I haven't smelled. In fact, I haven't smelled any from Initio Parfums. And this one, I found it really, really pleasant. Very simple note breakdown. Tobacco, rum, there's vanilla, there's coffee, there's cinnamon. It's definitely sweet. There's a little bit of booziness to it, a touch of spice. I don't really get much tobacco out of this fragrance like they said there is, but I do get a lot of leather, which is in the base. I think that really screams out as a backbone. Now it wears phenomenally on the skin. For I'd say the first 3 hours I was really loving the scent. I was like, this is gonna be a banger for the cold weather. And honestly, very similar to Napoleon, I gotta say, I didn't get much change out of the fragrance. There's not much transition in the dry down. And actually reading about the original Side Effect, I hear the same thing about that. Apparently that one doesn't change all that much either. Now this doesn't have all that many notes, so that could have something to do with it. But after the first few hours, I started to get a little sick of it. It was just, again, it wasn't changing at all. It was just persisting. It lasts a good while. A really good while. Like after 5 hours, it was still projecting. So these are strong fragrances. So what I gotta say is I enjoy it. I think it's pleasant, but the wearing experience again was a little bit flat for me. Not much development, at least not as much as I would like. So that's Token. Up next, this is actually an original concoction of theirs. And this is a really, really pretty scent. That's the best way I can describe it. It's called Mélange d'Arabe. Saying that totally wrong in French, but you get the idea. And this is a very fruity floral scent. You got a lot of orange, there's jasmine, peach, cyclamen, melon, vanilla, and even honey. So there's a nice, almost little sweet gourmand element to it in the background. It's very sweet. The jasmine does come through in kind of an earthy, indolic way, kind of that almost carnal, white, floral, fleshy ish scent. If you smell it, you know what I mean, but it's in a good way. It actually complements the composition very well. Now overall the scent is sweet, it's a little floral, and it's fresh, and I think the freshness comes from the cyclamen, which is actually, from what I understand, a fantasy note. It's synthetic, and it generally is created to kind of give a light and clean air to the scent. And it does do that here, but you get a lot of that sweetness from the fruits, and that honey makes it kind of thick. There's a thick sweetness to it. Some may call this feminine, honestly, but I think it's pretty unisex if you like these kind of scents. It lasted all day on me, very good performance, but once again, pretty linear. Didn't really change that much at all. It was something that I kept coming back to, and I was hoping to find something different in it, but it all just kind of sits in this one layer all together. So that is Mélange d'Arabe. Ugh. Can't say that. Moving on, this next one up, this is called Ancient Citrus, and this is a clone of Xerjoff 1861 Renaissance, which is a scent that I really enjoy. And you spray this on and you're definitely going to be reminded of Renaissance. That kind of citrusy, minty, fresh. You got a lot of lemon, there's tangerine, again there's mint in here, bergamot, musk, but it does have this warmth to it in the base, that musk, there's amber in there. It's really nice, it's green, it's fresh, again a little sweet, kind of citrusy, really pleasant scent. And it opens up very, very close to the original. I'm immediately reminded, okay, this is Renaissance. But it's not quite as minty to me, and up close when you smell it, it's a little earthy, almost like patchouli. It reminds me of patchouli, which is actually in the mint family in general. So it's funny that there's that connection there. And as I wore this on the skin, I wore it as I was working out, which may not have been the best way to wear fragrance like this, but as it started to sit on my skin after about 40 minutes or so, I wasn't really getting super sweaty, but there's a texture to it that very much kind of removed it from Renaissance territory. Didn't really remind me of it as much, and wasn't as pleasant to me. It almost had this weird kind of powdery nature, almost like the fragrance was breaking up or something like that. And then it got really light and I could barely smell it. So I can't really give a super fair assessment on this. I meant to give it a full wearing just to make sure, but I didn't have a chance to do that. But at first spray, definitely reminds you of Renaissance, and I think in the air it will definitely smell like it too. So one to check out for sure. And the last eau de parfum spray up, this is called Tropico. And this is a clone of former Xerjoff brand Sospiro, now also known as Xerjoff. They kind of integrated it back into the regular line. This is their Herba Pura, which is a well-known scent from the house. Very sweet, fruity, but also kind of vanillic, very rich, super beast mode, in your face, sweet fragrance. Very elegant, but very, very powerful. And I tested this one side by side with the original. I have a sample of it, both very fruity, and they're really, really close. I mean, they got super close with this one once again. I feel like the vanilla in the Xerjoff is actually a little bit more natural, but to me, that's not a really good thing necessarily. As a result, the naturalness of the Xerjoff vanilla can actually be kind of stinky in its natural form. Not the most pleasant scent as you might think as you smell it in other fragrances. And I find that the vanilla in Tropico maybe isn't quite as natural, but as a result is a little bit sweeter, more pleasant, doesn't have that stinky quality to it. So by comparison, I think I actually prefer Tropico to the original Xerjoff Herba Pura. So if you like Herba Pura or you like something like this, just so you know what's in it, there's orange, lemon, bergamot, fruity notes, white musk, and amber. If that sounds pleasant to you, then this is definitely one to check out. One that I would consider maybe a little bit better than the original for me and my taste. All right, really quick, I want to jump into these oils. We got quite a few to get through here. We got two inspired expressions to start off with from the house of Thierry Mugler. This is their rendition of Ultra Zest. Okay, this one, they nailed this one on the head. This smells like Ultra Zest. I wish I still had a sample of it. I have one, I misplaced it a while back, so I can't really test it side by side, but it is exactly what I remember Ultra Zest smelling like. And if you smelled it, then you know it's this sweet and creamy orange with this earthy patchouli backbone. Really a pleasant scent. It's fresh, but it also has a gourmand quality to it, similar to the original Amen. It's very pleasant. I like this one. So that's Ultra Zest. There's Penny. This next one, this is inspired by Tom Ford's Mandarino di Amalfi. Okay. And this, they also nailed on the head. This is a really, it's beautiful, beautiful scent with better performance than the original Tom Ford. It has a thickness and richness to it that you don't really get out of the Tom Ford. That's very light. It's very fresh and orange-like, though there's technically no orange. There's actually a lot of grapefruit with a lot of orange blossom mixing together. And I think maybe even some lemon thrown in there. Very zingy, very fresh. Again, citrusy, very refreshing. It's slightly sweet, super tangy, very pleasant. I love this one. I like the original. I like this even more because, again, it lasts. Up next, this is one that I actually recently talked about in my most recent Fragrances of the Week video. This is called Agar of Dawn. This is a beautiful rose oud fragrance. It's really nice. It has a slightly medicinal oud to it, but it does have a beautiful watery rose, which just comes off super elegant and super fresh and just beautiful, very lovely scent. It lasts a very long time. It doesn't scream. Again, super elegant. There's even some sweetness to it from vanilla, which is really nice. Very, very easy to wear, very elegant. I love it. Wore to a gig and I really enjoyed wearing it. Next, this is a fig-based scent. This is called, I'm not gonna show it to you because they all kind of look the same. It's called Al Intisar. A lot of fig in here, honey, even tobacco. There's some oud in here, there's some spices, and even a little bit of a resinous balsamic quality to it. Basically get not a whole lot of oud, a lot of juicy fig, a lot of honey. So it's sweet, it's kind of thick, but it does have a kind of a fresh, juicy fruitiness to it from the fig. Oud is in the background, and there's a nice earthy tobacco to this one. Don't really get any spices, and it wears nice on the skin. It stays sweet as it dries, and you know, the resins are always kind of there. The oud is, you know, it's barely there from the beginning, and then it's totally gone by the end. So you barely get the oud in there, but it is a nice touch. Very pleasant. Next, this is one that I wasn't crazy about because I didn't really get a good feel for it when I wore it. It's super light. It's called Musk Rizali. Very light and clean musk. That's basically what you get. White musk, lily, I think there's some violet leaf, there's iris, there's a lang lang, which you would think would bring a little bit of sweetness to it, but not really. It wears super light. It doesn't smell bad at all, just very light, very clean and musky. I can appreciate it. It's a super understated scent. If you like these very clean, musky, very light and slightly floral scents, it's really nice. I think it's one of those scents that's meant to blend with your body chemistry and kind of give you a very unique wearing experience. That's Musk Rizali. Next, this one is called Oud Fawaki. Okay, I have this one on my wrist. This is a beautiful fruity floral scent with some oud in there, as per the name. If I'm not mistaken, Fawaki might be Arabic for fruits or fruity or something like that. It's sweet, again, fruity and floral. There's a hint of woodiness in the background. You get lots of dates actually in here. There's vanilla, there's some violet leaf, there's floral notes, there's some musk, and then again there's some agarwood, which is the oud. It's a very, very nice and refined composition. Overall, very pleasant. Some might consider this feminine, but I think it's really nice. Very elegant, gorgeous scent. Up next, this is a bona fide Gourmand here. I'm wearing it on my other wrist. This one is really beautiful. It's lots of caramel. Caramel is the main player here. You do get some creamy vanilla in there as well. Mandarin orange, beautiful addition of mandarin orange, which sits atop. It kind of comes off. Overall, it's this creamy, sweet, and dessert orange, like a citrus dessert of some kind, like a citrus dessert cake. Really, really nice, very beautiful. It has some depth to it with some woody notes, so it doesn't go off the rails in terms of sweetness, but very, very pleasant scent. Last up, this one is tough, and you gotta look at this. Take a good look at this. If I can get focus on it, okay? I'm gonna turn it around so you can see the opening here. Look how the oil moves in here. This stuff is so thick. It's incredible. This is called Madagascan Vanilla. And unfortunately, as cool as it looks, this is my least favorite out of all of these. And I think it's because this is very natural vanilla. And again, and vanilla in its natural state isn't always the most pleasant. It's super rich and thick. It has, again, this stinky quality to it that I'm not crazy about. But there are other things in this fragrance that do kind of not make it super just vanilla world. You do have some fruity notes. There's apparently a salted caramel accord in here. Coffee, obviously Madagascan vanilla is the primary note here. We got amber, we got some woody notes. There's also some rose, lily, and apparently some cedar wood. Simply put, this is not for me. If you love vanilla, if you want to dive heavy into the world of real vanilla scents, this is one to check out. All right, so we've reached the end. These are all the fragrances I wanted to talk about. And as I did with oil perfumery, I do not plan on keeping all of these scents. So there's now going to be a giveaway attached to this video. So if you've made it this far, congratulations. You can be entered in the giveaway. So the ones I'm giving away, we're giving away Napoleon. I'm gonna give away Ancient Citrus. Again, that is the Renaissance cologne. Token, we're giving away Token. Madagascan Vanilla, one of you will get to experience this one. Oud Al Fawaki, this one is going as well. And Musk Rizali, this one is also going. So that is the giveaway. So that's 6 of these are going. I'm keeping some for myself, but 6 of these will go to you. I'm gonna actually pick 2 winners. All you gotta do to enter, leave a comment about what you like the most about this review, in terms of if there's a particular fragrance out of these 6 that stood out to you the most. Make sure you like the video, make sure you're subscribed, because I will know.
I don't know. You can't fool me. I don't know if you're not subscribed.
So that's all you got to do to enter the giveaway. Maybe in a week's time, we'll pick 2 winners to see who's going to receive some of these. But in the meantime, the rest of you, either way, you can check out the discount code. Once again, Copeland20, get 20% off your order. Again, only valid for the next 2 weeks, so make sure you jump on it. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to hear from you guys in the comments. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.